Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of According to Kaz and Queen. And as always, I'm Kaz.
And I'm Queen.
And we want to thank you guys for joining us again here on another wonderful episode. We got a lot of good things to talk about. And as always, you can follow us on all streaming services. Make sure you tuned in. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple Music. We are on Google Podcasts. We're on Amazon Music as well. And we are now on Black with No Chaser Radio. So you have had a chance to download the app. Make sure that you download the Black with No Chaser app, bwncradio.com, and you can check us out, man. Your favorite couple's going to be doing their thing on Black with No Chaser Radio. So shouts out to all of them as well. And of course, if you prefer to see our bright, shiny faces, you know what to do. All right. When I put my finger right here, you just make sure that you like and subscribe to that YouTube channel right there. Make sure you like and subscribe. Set those notifications, man. Turn them on, because Tuesday nights at 7 p.m., you'll be able to see the premiere of every episode, you know, and then you can follow us on streaming services and you can check it out on Black with No Chaser Radio as well. All right. Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Make sure that you do that. And we're going to be here. And as long as you're there, then we're going to have ourselves a good time, of course, coming to you live from an undisclosed location. I know in past episodes, you know, you've heard the glasses clinking in the background, but me and my bride did a good bit of drinking last night. We tied a couple on last night. So if you're watching us on YouTube, of course, I've got my water here so that I can hydrate, so that we can make it through the rest of the weekend. And if you are listening to us, there will be no glasses clinking. There are cups and water bottles going on right now, because we are trying to get ourselves back right again.
It ain't like it used to be.
Because we're doing it again, man. We're doing it again.
Yeah, we're going to keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to get right.
You got to make sure that we hydrate, you know, of course. I would be remiss without mentioning, of course, we want to send our condolences and our prayers out. We had a friend of ours, a colleague of ours, someone who had crossed our paths here, Joseph Reddix. Everyone knew him as Joey Free Press, who passed away suddenly here in Jackson, Mississippi. And I just want to send our prayers and our condolences out to friends and family, man. You know, you don't ever know, when people cross your path, even if but for a moment, you don't know what kind of impact they're going to have on your life. And in a lot of instances, you have people who only pass through your life briefly in spurts that you see every now and then. And, we would see Joey around Jackson, and he was always a supporter of Kaz and Queen. He was always a supporter of all the endeavors that we did. So we dedicate this episode and this podcast to you, Joey. Rest in paradise. A very good brother, very smart brother, very cool, quirky, eccentric brother. If you ran across him, you know what I'm talking about. And that's pretty much it on that, man. We want to dedicate this to him and send this out to his family as well. But I want to get right into this, and we're going to switch gears real fast, because this is your boy. So we got to talk about this right off the bat. We got to talk about Chris Brown. We got to talk about Chris Brown.
It's breezy, baby.
My goodness. So Chris Brown spent a lot of time the other day going back and forth. Well, he didn't go back and forth. I mean, it was just really a verbal barrage against, what's her name?
He had time.
He said he had time. Kylie?
I don't know. That's just how significant she is.
She was in 3LW. You know, she's not chopped liver.
What?
Well, here's the thing. Okay. And we're probably going to disagree on this. And I want to hear as a woman, because I saw a lot of women, defending this behavior and saying, Chris Brown had time and this and that. The young lady Kylie, just made mention of, Chris Brown's, past run-ins with domestic abuse.
Look, don't trivialize it. She didn't just make mention. She came for him.
Yeah, she did.
She came for him.
She did. So there was nothing provoked on his end. She just out of the blue. She
came for him because he has a song with Chloe. A new song. Chloe announced it. Mm-hmm. She probably bit her in some way, shape, or form. But she came for him and started talking about the past because of the post about the song.
Right. And I guess in her mind, I felt that she was, defending Chloe or defending the honor of women. It's going to be brought up. And it's going to continuously be brought up, unfortunately. And it's not just for that particular incident, babe. It is for several issues that have happened over time. Let us not forget that, what's her name? The woman that he dated for a while. Is it Carucci? Mm-hmm. How do you pronounce that?
Carucci.
Okay.
I don't know if that's correct.
But let's go with it. We're going to go with that. That's the best that we can get, as close as we can get. Y'all know who we talking about. But, mind you, in court, she played a series of messages that he sent to her that prompted the court to give her, one of the strongest restraining orders that has ever happened in the history of the world. I think it was a lifetime restraining order. I think it was because of what he sent. So, there has been instances of habitual line stepping for Chris Brown. My thoughts.
What's another one?
I don't have it right off the bat.
So we know about two that happened basically.
How many
at the
do you
same
need?
Time.
How many do you need?
I don't need any. Do you want to know why?
Why is that?
Because he was 17. He was dumb.
With Rihanna.
He was foolish. He was 17.
Okay.
He is now 33 years old.
Okay.
So I don't think that people should be. I didn't think then, and I still don't think that people who do stuff at a stupid age, because Lord knows I did stupid stuff at 17.
Indeed.
And even the person who put his hands on me, he was growner than 17. Yes. But he deserved the opportunity to rectify, fix, get healing for all of that. And he did. Just imagine if people continued to come, or if I continued to treat him as the person he was when he was unhealthy and broken and treated me badly and beat me up. If I continued to hold that over his head after he had been doing the work and was able to rehabilitate himself, that's just not how we operate. And then this comes in a time where we're supposed to be the kind of people who, slow down, back up. First of all, he took the time, because he had time that day, to post a series of white actors who have done the same thing that never get that kind of backlash. Nobody gives them that backlash. Mel Gibson, Charlie Sheen. It was a bunch of people he had.
They do get backlash now. They do get backlash.
Okay, well,
it might not stop them from getting work per se, but they do get backlash.
And it was real grown. We talk about they done did this stuff in the last 10 years. They real grown. Chris Brown was 17. He wasn't even an adult.
For me, Charlie Sheen and Mel Gibson are non-factors. So for me, I wouldn't hire Mel Gibson again, and I wouldn't hire Charlie Sheen again if it was me.
All I'm saying is the man deserves the opportunity to better himself. And there's not one sin better than the other. So if you are out there cracking off on him because of how you feel like something he did at 17 was wrong, and he even acknowledges that it was wrong, that he made a mistake. Nobody's saying that he's, that it wasn't wrong. It was wrong. He shouldn't have did it. But he also, just like every human, deserves the opportunity to be able to move beyond it. And I don't like how people bring it up at their own convenience. They don't stop to bring it. They bring it up when it's relevant to what they trying to point out. You know what I'm saying? Or when they trying to come for him. So it ain't fair. Leave the man alone. Let him make it. He ain't bothering nobody right now. He ain't been bothering nobody. So leave it alone. Let the man make it. He was 17. That was over half his life ago.
Well, I will say this, and that's a fair assessment. And I will give you kudos on that response. Everybody does deserve the chance at redemption. My my thing is, do you feel like if he really genuinely is looking for redemption, do you think like he should have responded in the manner that he did?
Everybody, he got tired. He had time. He got tired. People come for him all the time and he don't respond. This was just one of them days. He probably woke up like, not today. Everybody had them days. Mm-hmm. And he went in. You could tell he had time because he spent several hours on it.
He did.
And he usually doesn't do that. He just kind of laugh it off if he mentions it at all.
Must have been a free day outside of the studio or touring today because, he was on it
and
for a long time.
She wasn't even, like, relevant enough. Like, he probably had to look her up to see what to say about her, because she wasn't relevant enough. Even she said, I'm not even one of the popular ones, and he going off like this, from 3LW. Mm-hmm. But I'm not dismissing what he did. I have a son. I have a bonus son. They are currently doing dumb shit. They are not going to be like that forever. And I don't want them to continuously be judged for that. I don't want my abuser to be continuously judged for that. And it might just be a matter of compassion or something that happened in my life to make me feel that way, whatever, But I do believe that people deserve the opportunity to correct themselves. And I'm thankful that I've been given the opportunity to correct myself because I haven't always made the best choices either. And none of you have. That's really just long and short of it. You either.
And that's fair. I cannot argue with that in a sense. I present the topics and we talk about them. You do know how I feel about domestic abuse, and you do know how I feel and how I take a hard line stance on a lot of things. I may have to start evaluating the hard line stance that I take on a lot of things. I'm learning to be more malleable as I get a little bit older, but putting your hands on women at any point for me is a huge red flag, and it takes a lot to come back from it, because if you at one time felt it prudent to abuse women in any shape, form, or fashion, whether it be mentally or physically, that's not something that you just get over in a very short period of time.
Sure it is. People heal, baby.
Not in a short period of time.
It ain't been a short period of time, though. This happened when he was 17, he's 33. It has been plenty of time. But even then, healing doesn't have a time frame. But he was broken. He was angry. He was having his own issues. He was traumatized, which is why he took it out on her. My abuser was broken. He was traumatized. That's why he took it out on me. You heal the trauma, you heal the response. So you heal the trigger. And it can't be easy to heal from it if you're constantly being judged by it. So you're right. There can't be it's difficult to have a hard line, because if a person is contrite and they are remorseful, then they are going to be more involved in their healing process. Some people don't understand that that's wrong because that's the life they grew up in. That's not necessarily the truth for Chris Brown. So I believe that redemption is something that he deserves. And I've believed it the whole time. Actually, I was mad at him for doing it because it was horrible. Like, he really beat her like she was a man. It was horrible.
Well, Rihanna has since said that she played a part in it, that, they were fighting each other. It doesn't excuse it at all whatsoever. I still think the man bears the brunt of the responsibility.
It does not excuse it. Right. But but a lot of men cannot manage the thought process in the heat of the moment that this is a woman and I should walk away. Now, we can evaluate how do we get men to that point to where they can walk away even if a woman puts their hands on them. We can talk about that, because that's not something that's being talked about. But it's not fair to continuously judge somebody for something that they did when they were young and dumb. He could be a dumb adult. But we haven't seen him do this type of thing anymore since then. And the season he was in his life right then, where he was just becoming, popular. He was, becoming a well-known person all over the world. He was, young. I don't know if his dad was in his life. I know there's a lot of talk about his mom around that time, and I don't remember seeing a whole lot about his dad. So he had his own stuff. But as you grow, you get older and you become more aware of who you are and what the expectations are that people put on you and what the expectations are that you put on yourself. At 17, none of that matters. None of it.
So what do you think is the difference then in Chris Brown and, say, R. Kelly? If R. Kelly came out and if he did not try to continuously deny this as he
That's
has,
the difference.
Well, there is the difference.
R. Kelly is not remorseful and in denial.
And extreme denial.
And I think he has a mental issue. So there are a lot of differences. Plus, he's a predator and he preyed on women. Chris Brown is not continuously out there just beating women up. R. Kelly was continuously and for a long period of time going after young girls. And he was, holding them hostage. Like, it's just way more significant than the incident with Chris Brown. And he's shown no contrition. He's not sorry. He doesn't even believe what he did was wrong.
He doesn't believe he did anything at all.
Correct. So there's a huge difference.
So I will concede that you make an interesting point, a compelling point. I will go back because I didn't delve in deep enough to make sure that there were no incidents other than Rihanna and Karrueche.
That sounds right.
Yeah. I thought for some reason that there were several in between or some instances where he did some things that were distasteful.
He did. Now, that's true. But that was all during the same season of his life.
So you're saying that was then. It hasn't happened in the past 3-4 years.
Not that type of behavior, the losing of himself and the lack of control and all that. We haven't seen that for years. But during that season, when the Rihanna thing kicked off, he was spiraling for whatever reason. Mm. But I think he got himself together, and I think he deserves an opportunity to show us that he's gotten himself together without constantly being bombarded with it.
I'm going to look into that.
He did the kicking over the stuff at the morning show that he was interviewed at. They asked him about it and they wasn't supposed to, and he lost it.
That was recent?
No, it was back then.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I do remember that. For some reason, I'm thinking that something has happened in the past 3 or 4 years where he was inappropriate on social media or he was inappropriate somewhere.
But
I don't have that information in front of me right now, so I got to take it at face value. So I will say, you have made an excellent point at this stage of the conversation. We're going to come back and we're going to revisit it because
you're going to go find a reason to not.
I'm not going to find a reason. I'm going to find something that's there just to make sure, because if you're going to make the point that was then and this is now, which is a fair point, by the way, if you're going to make the point that this is in a period where I was broken, this is in a period where I was carrying around trauma, I've worked my way up to here, I'm not here anymore, and I'm really tired of people bringing it up, every time they want to attack me. There's that. And then there is, I had my spiraling period here, but there have been instances continuously up till me having.
Nobody's perfect. You trying to say you can't ever do anything wrong again in order for me to give you grace
per se,
for this situation.
But being disrespectful to women.
I don't think you're going to find that. That don't even if you don't find it, doesn't mean that he hasn't been disrespectful to women. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the Rihanna situation that they constantly bringing up, I think he has healed from and is sorry for what he did at 17. That's what I'm talking about. And I don't believe that he will ever put his hands on a woman. I hope that he would never do that again because of what happened as a result of that decision.
I hope so too.
So far, we don't know that he has.
We don't know.
And I choose to believe that this black man, because, he is one of us, and we need to offer grace to each other and opportunities to correct as much as possible. I believe he deserves that.
Okay. That's fair. Kudos to you. I will say that you explained that and made your point very well. I'm still going to research that, and I'm still going to see. Everybody does deserve redemption. Everybody deserves a second act for certain things,
or a third, or a fourth. If God can forgive us, why we can't forgive each other?
And you're right about that again. I can't argue with you there at all. But at the end of the day, we can't say, okay, well, dudes can go around just willy-nilly putting their hands on women, and if they're contrite somewhere down the line, we're going to be like, okay, we cool with you. Because then it opens a Pandora's box at this point, which I think is already open.
It opens the Pandora's box of not having a reason to hate on the man.
I don't say hate.
Or be mad.
Women have a fair critique. The women that I saw speaking out against it, they have a fair critique, don't you think?
That he once put his hands on a woman?
Is that not a fair critique?
He did once put his hand on a woman.
Yes. I'm not saying that it is winning the argument. I'm saying, is that not a fair critique?
Look, you're going to have people out there who are always going to hold this over his head. That's just what it is. That's what it's going to be. That's just what it is. I personally believe that that's unfortunate because those same people have done things in their lives that they asked for forgiveness for. The fact that Chris Brown is and his business is readily accessible and we can get to it at any point, even to the point to where you finna go dig and find something.
Not dig.
Maybe
not dig.
It's always there. Everybody don't live their life like that. So if you're looking, you can find something. Anytime you go looking for something, you'll be able to find it because that's what you want to see. I think I said that last week.
You might have. But do you think you could dig and find, are you talking about just period, something bad? Not domestic violence. Okay.
I'm talking about just anything. I think that there are going to be the people who are, I guess, feminists who are going to say this. This is a
feminist.
Who are the people you talking about?
These are women. I don't know if they're feminists or not.
Oh, you just talking about random people making comments.
Just women making comments, yes.
Well, everybody got the right to their opinion. And mine may be different. I might would share in their opinion had I not been domestically abused and had my own experience with it at 17 years old. So I was able to forgive my abuser. He asked for forgiveness. I hold no grudges because I know that he is a better person now. And for me, that's enough. So maybe that's the reason why I feel the way I feel about second chances.
And that's cool. And that's fair. So speaking of Chris Brown and Rihanna, Rihanna coming off the heels of her Super Bowl performance and announcing her pregnancy. She is on the upcoming cover of Vogue magazine. So she's on the cover of Vogue magazine and joining her, flanking her on the cover of the magazine.
I say flanking.
Flanking her on the cover of the magazine is, of course, her baby daddy, A$AP Rocky, and he is holding the baby while reaching for or holding Rihanna's hand. I thought it was a very cool family picture. I think, of course, Rihanna being a billionaire and being one of the biggest stars on the planet, and a bigger star than her baby daddy, who, does his thing in his own right. But of course, this Vogue cover was clearly about her. But of course, the toxic masculinity began to rear its ugly head on social media, and there were all kinds of think pieces about people who were saying that this was a conspiracy to destroy masculinity and manhood. I even saw one idiot who actually took the picture and dissected it with green lines and made spaces and blocks in the picture to explain different parts of the picture. The photographer apparently, had the way that Rihanna was reaching back for A$AP's hand was a way to dismiss his masculinity. The fact that he was carrying the baby. They did a spatial shot of the space in between her and him, saying that this is the amount of space that he is walking behind her. All in an effort to say that A$AP Rocky is supporting the de-emasculation of men because he is following and walking behind his baby mama now, or I guess, I don't know what their relationship status is, but walking behind the mother of his kids, he is conceding the fact that she is the head of the household, even though the Vogue cover was about her. The toxic masculinity, those things that I read, especially on the Twitter feeds, is it's ridiculous. As a man, it's offensive to me. I personally think these are dudes that are not smashing anything. I don't think they get any sex at all whatsoever. I think they're losers. But as a woman, and as a very strong woman, as my bride, I want to get your opinions on that. If you're looking at that cover, does that in the least bit give you any thought that A$AP Rocky is being emasculated because he is carrying the baby and following Rihanna on the cover?
Nah, it doesn't. I actually felt like it was a very loving piece.
Yes.
A very loving picture. I felt like, first of all, they not married. So my first thought was, why is this article about Rihanna and he on the why is he even involved? But I think Rihanna chose that. My personal belief. I think she wanted him and her baby in the picture. But since she was the feature, she deserved to be out in the front. And I think that's where it ends. I don't think there's anything else to it. She clearly wanted to display that she had a good baby daddy who was supportive and there for her child. And I don't see anything wrong with that. And she's in a good season right now. She's having an uptick. And as a man who is familiar with the industry and familiar with entertainment and how that goes, it shows that he is supportive enough to recognize that my wife is the bomb. I mean, my woman is the bomb, and she deserves to be out here, and I support that, and I got the baby. Go ahead, baby, do your thing. I got the baby.
And that's it.
That's all I saw.
And how people came, I mean, we talked about it in the last episode about, how people have contorted, these scenes and these songs from Beyonce and, all those things to try to turn them into something that's demonic. I mean, people have a lot of extra time in their lives to be able to come up with these ridiculous theories and conspiracies. All I saw was a loving, supportive father carrying the baby, which is what the hell you're supposed to do when you have a baby and you have a wife that, is your equal. And maybe in a lot of instances in the entertainment field, she is superior to you.
She's not his equal at all.
Oh, no, it's not even close. It's not.
And he recognized that, and it's okay.
Yes.
So actually, y'all just putting yourself in them people's business. Let them make it. Like, it's too much of that going on.
It's like my man Robert says.
Lord in heaven.
These are problems that are outside of most people's tax bracket. If this is a problem that is in somebody's tax bracket that is above yours, it's really not your problem.
But this ain't even their problem. They don't have a problem. Y'all making it a problem. Y'all
true.
Making yourselves have a problem with them folks who are perfectly fine and don't really give two cares in the world about you having a problem with the way they took their picture.
Yeah, I really want you guys to, either get a girlfriend or, these are dudes that aren't married. I don't know if they've gone outside and touched grass or had the touch of a soft woman in their lives at any point, the loving caress of a woman.
There you go, baby.
Anything. I don't know if they have had any interaction with real women outside of being in their mother's basement or in their apartment, tweeting and posting stuff on their blogs, thug posting about a man being a damn father and carrying the baby on a cover that had nothing to do with him. The fact that the photographer was like, okay, and Vogue was like, okay, you can stay on the cover. The fact that happened was a plus for him, because in a lot of instances, he would have been told to stand your ass over on the side so that we can take this picture of this billionaire who just performed at the Super Bowl, because that is what we really want. Okay?
And that's why I think she chose to have them in it. I think it was her choice. But also, if anything, brothers, for us, for women, for a lot of women, because clearly not all, but a lot of women, that was the pure epitome of masculinity.
Absolutely.
That was an empowering photo, and it was more empowering on his behalf than it was even on Rihanna's behalf, because he stood there. That was absolute manhood right there. Absolute. Like, no question at all about it. I don't see how you can find anything emasculating there unless you are looking for that and you want to believe that that's what it is.
I think the absolute best display, the best example of being a masculine man that you can can exude is when you have enough sense to fall back and watch your woman excel and shine.
Maybe that's what they don't have experience with.
Maybe, yeah, because they haven't been touched by a woman. I think a lot of them.
Or they don't have women who outshine them from time to time.
And that's the case, too. So you've been around some really whack-ass women, too, on top of that. Because as a man, first of all, why would you not want a partner, a life partner, a soulmate, a helpmate, a mother of your children? Why would you not want someone around you who could match your shine and who could match your ability and match your levels and at times outshine you?
Well, maybe they're not shining.
I can't.
But I can tell you for sure that that's not a common thought.
I mean, I guess it's not, and it's really weird to me because I love it when you shine and when you excel. As a matter of fact, for me, it's great because it gives me the opportunity to not have to do shit for once. And I am absolutely fine with that because for many years, you watched me do the things that I was doing. You watched me travel the world as an artist, and you watched me go through my ups and downs of being an entrepreneur, and you supported me in all those endeavors. And then the day that you came home and you said, I cannot go back to that job again, I've got to quit. And I said, okay, baby, you quit and do your thing up until that point.
Not that day. Not the day. Now, I was asking many times before that.
You asked a lot of times.
But finally,
we came in and
it was different.
There was despair there, and there was, a physical element that you began to be physically ill, and it had gotten to a very bad point. And I got to that point probably a few months after that, at that particular job that I was at. And I understand it. And when you said that and you decided that, I want to try to do my own thing. I don't want to be Kaz's wife. I want to be my own person. And when you decided that you wanted to do that, I was fully supportive of it. And I wanted to see you excel, really, at the end of the day. And I am very proud when people say to me, you're Queen's husband. I love it. I'm enamored by it because, again, I have no problem with my woman shining and excelling. When you are a couple in a household, that's how it's supposed to be. Some days this person is up and some days the other person is up. I don't understand men that want to be in a household with a woman where they are always the one that has to carry all of the weight and do all of the work and get all of the shine, all of the time. Like, I enjoy being a father. I enjoy being the person responsible for our daughter. Picking her up from school, making sure that her homework is done, spending time with her or going out on excursions. I love doing that. That's not solely and singularly your job.
Right.
Your job is not singularly or solely to wash the dishes and cook dinner. That's not singularly or solely your job. And at the same time, it's not singularly or solely my job to make sure that we keep this roof over our head. We are a family. We are a couple. We are our helpmates and we are soulmates. And in that sense, both of us had to be able to carry the weight.
But that's what works for us.
Well, that's true.
Other people have lives that are set up differently and it works for them. What is most pressing that to me about us is that I understand, and I think you do too, that we are reflections of each other. I'm definitely a reflection of my husband. So when I shine, he automatically shines. When he shines, I shine. We understand that. We feel that deeply. So when it's time for you to put on a show or something, and my role is to play the background and keep you spiritually healthy, I'm still participating. So it has to succeed because I'm participatory. I'm putting in on it too. When I'm doing my thing and I'm putting on a show or something like that, then you have a very important role that nobody else can feel but you. And that's keeping me sane. That's an important job. So it's never a you shine, I shine. if he shine, she shine. It's never that for us. We always shining. If one shining, the other one shining. And if we dull as hell, then we both dull.
Right.
Ain't no shining.
Right.
So I think that's just, what works for us. And power to you if you have a setup like James in Florida. If that's what y'all want, then, do your thing.
No judgment. I'm just saying, if that's your thing, that's cool. But I mean, I would welcome the day that you would be on the cover of Vogue or on the cover of Ebony or on the cover of the Businesswoman's magazine or anywhere. I will gladly sit in the background. You can put an apron on me. You can give me a spatula in my hand. You can put a chef's hat on my head, and you can put the little one right next to me, and I'll put my arm around her, and you can put some flour on my face from, me baking something in there. You can do all of that. You can do all of that and put me in the background, and you can make me real tiny in the back, and you put her in the front. That's what I want, and I don't understand why in the hell a man would not want that for their mate. And to, just to be perfectly honest with you, I'm a man's man, a man above man. And I think that is the most masculine thing that you can possibly do. I'll slap the shit out of any one of y'all in any second and won't blink twice about it. But I would love to be in an apron and a chef's hat with a spatula in my hand. That's how I picture it. And a oven mitt. I'm going to have the spatula in my hand with the oven mitt with a chef's hat on and the apron. And I'll be in the background while my wife is in the front shining. I would love for that to happen. I would love for it, because that means that I have someone with me that if I need them to be, they can step up and they can take charge and take control. I think every man should have that. Every man should have the feeling that, if my gun is out of clips and out of bullets, I got somebody that's going to stand back to back with me, and they going to bust as much as I'm busting, and they going to bust until all the bullets is out of their clip too at the same time, back to back, like an action movie. I think that's the case, and there's nothing wrong with that. We got to get outside of these stupid ass gender roles that we have put for everybody, and we got to start doing what's going to help us to build our nation back. This is what nation building is about. That toxic masculinity shit that y'all are on is crumbling us right now. Even though y'all might think it's not, but this super machismo, super masculine ideal of, ASAP Rocky being emasculated because he's carrying a baby that he fucking helped to make as a father, supporting his woman.
On a cover that he's a guest on. He was
Vogue,
basically a guest. Vogue is, their whole target is women. Why? I mean, of course they're gonna put Rihanna on the front. I don't know. You gonna take your dumb ass in there with the photographer with your wife on the cover of Vogue and be like, oh no, I'm not gonna. She's not gonna be in front of me. I got to be in front with and she got to carry the baby because I'm the man. Nigga, who are you? They trying to make it like it was the magazine and the photographer's intention to emasculate him.
It was a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy against masculinity. You come in here ASAP and you stand behind her so that we can emasculate you. No, Rihanna's a billionaire. We're really.
I just think it's really.
You're just here, sir.
I think it's really interesting that that is the take. That's the takeaway. Because I looked at it, even if that was the intention of the photographer, when I saw it, he failed. Because what I saw was a loving family.
That's it.
So it just depends on, where you are, where your energy is, what you carrying on you, how you look at it. Yeah. So
and
there it is.
Again, they got money. So, again, a lot of people
rich people problems.
Those are rich people problems above our tax bracket. Rihanna's got 2 kids, but she's got 2 kids by the same dude. Whether or not they get married or not, it's not my business or anybody else's business. They got the money to do whatever it is they want to do. When Rihanna has this next baby, she's going to be able, the minute that baby comes out, she's going to be able to hand that baby off to a nanny if she wants to, and somebody that's going to be in their house 24/7. to help her take care of that baby and go with her on the road so she can have those kids on the road. And ASAP, I would love it for you to sell billions of records and be a billionaire. I will be out on tour with you carrying baby bags and had them bags strapped across my chest out there. I'd be pushing a stroller. I would be changing diapers backstage. What you need me to do? What do you need me to do for the babies right now? You go out on that stage and make that money, billionaire. My billionaire baby is what I would call you. My billionaire baby. We're going to love on you, and I'm going to put these babies off in you now. I'm going to put them in the oven every couple of years, and we're going to hand it off to the nanny, and we're going to go and have, like, those are problems that, again, regular people cannot fathom because, we don't have the ability to hand them off to a nanny and do all those things. And they're blessed to be able to do that. But toxic masculinity is killing us, especially you folks who have enough time, with these conspiracy theories on social media. It's a really, really silly thing. I want you to go on a date and go out with a woman, a real woman, not a blow up air dog.
What?
Go out with a real woman and touch the world. Go out in the world and find out how regular men are accounting for themselves out in the world, and stop trying to do things for likes and shares on social media.
Because that's basically what it boils down to.
Yeah, and a good dude.
Trying to go viral.
I have not seen one thread from any of these dudes that come on there saying, yes, I agree, and yes. I have not seen one of them. When I go to their page and look at them, I know none of them have felt the private parts of a woman ever in their life. You keep going. Makes me mad, man.
Baby, what's next?
You're a fan of the Ghetto Boys?
Yeah.
You know the Ghetto Boys. Everybody knows the Ghetto Boys. You didn't get a chance to talk about this as it was happening after the Grammy performance, but it's kind of taking some legs and people have been talking about it. I grew up on the Ghetto Boys. They were one of the first artists, one of the first groups out of the South that started making noise across the world. So shouts out to Scarface, Willie D, rest in peace, Bushwick Bill, DJ Ready Red, going all the way back to the original Ghetto Boys, and Mind Playing Tricks on Me, one of the biggest hip hop records of all time. Of course, if you were watching the Grammys, they had the dedication to hip hop. Scarface came out and performed a couple of lines of Mind's Playing Tricks on Me. Turns out that he was there alone, and a few days later, he was back on his podcast with his partner, Willie D. And Willie D took the opportunity to let Scarface know that he was not pleased with him doing that by himself and let it be known. And I thought, really, actually, if we're being honest, I thought it was a real conversation between brothers, grown men and colleagues. I think, of course, taking that conversation to the podcast, I know they talked about it beforehand, and I know they did it because people were going to love the conflict, but they had the conversation, and they had the conversation on camera, and there was a lot of back and forth between people, and I want to get your views on it just as a person, or as a person that has had friends or colleagues or business partners or whatever the case is. And, even myself, having been in a group situation myself in music, what were your thoughts? And when you kind of hear the explanations and you look at it at face value, who do you think is in the right? Is it Willie D or is it Scarface?
I'm Team Willie D, baby.
Okay.
Team Willie D. I mean, I understand they did the part of the song that actually was Scarface's. I know it was a time limit. He explained that everything happened before he got there and he had to rehearse. I think that was all bull crap.
Oh,
he
wow.
saw the opportunity to be a part of it and he took it. Because he could have told them, I'm going to bring him out here. He ain't got to, all he got to do is say, my mind's playing tricks on me. We ain't got to do his verse. We can do my verse. We can rap it together. But you ain't got to change the time or anything. But if I'm going to be out here doing a Ghetto Boy song, the other Ghetto Boy need to be out here with me.
Because, Run DMC was there and Run didn't say anything.
Exactly. And it would be absolutely disrespectful for the two of them not to be up there. It's disrespectful to the culture and it's disrespectful to the man. So, and if you're going to bring Scarface out there by himself, let him do his shit. It still contributed to hip hop. It was still within the 50 years. Let him do his stuff. Willie D probably wouldn't have had an issue with that. But you can't do a Ghetto Boy song and I'm sitting here available and you don't even hit me up. You don't do. I mean, that ain't what you do. So I think it was him being so elated to be able to do it that he just did it, and it was the wrong thing to do. It was the wrong call.
I'm going to say this because you make a good point. I've been on both sides of this issue before. Maybe not in a Grammy situation. Definitely not in a Grammy situation. I can see both sides of it. I can see, you're doing a Ghetto Boys record. Even if they did not invite me, you can insist. I could come out on my own dime. I could come out on stage and hype you up and have a mic. This is a Ghetto Boys song. You know, I want to at least feel like you went to bat for me.
Yeah, sure.
So there's that. Then there's the other side of it. This is the Grammys. They work on a very tight schedule. I've been to the Grammys before. I've been backstage at the Grammys before. I've seen how tight a ship that is run. It's a very tight ship. It's time limits, it's TV, it's a lot of things, and you've got a lot of moving pieces. You got Questlove, who is putting all of this together, and he is reaching out to people. I have seen instances where they said, okay, we've got to do this in this time frame. We don't have time to do this. And I've seen people insist and say, no, I got to have this and I got to have this. And I've seen them removed from big opportunities because of it.
So you think he didn't want to insist because he wanted that brings it back down to what I'm saying. He just wanted to do it and he didn't want to shake the boat. But
well, here's the thing.
There's still, I mean, even if it's a time thing, the dude walked out on stage.
And you know he only did what? 2 lines?
It don't matter. The dude had to walk on stage. Willie D could have walked on. You didn't even have to give him a mic. He had to walk out on stage with me. They could have took the same step at the same time to get to the same place.
You are correct.
It was not about time.
You are correct. You are correct.
And you're right. It is a tight ship. You're going to do it, and you don't want to shake the boat. So I can understand him not wanting to shake the boat. But in Revolution, you got to shake the boat. You can't tell me that you want me to come up here and do a Ghetto Boys song by myself. If he was gone, yeah. But the man right here, he available. He waiting on the call. Like, why wouldn't you?
I mean, he is in the group. And I see your point. And I'm not saying that you're wrong. I agree with you 100%. But I've also seen people insist that such and such got to come with me and this person got to be with me. And they said, okay, well, no. And then eliminate the whole thing. So then at that point, do you say, hey, I insist that Willie D comes and be a part of this and y'all get him here, and then they say either it's this or it's nothing, and you miss an opportunity to be in a tribute that's going to probably be played back millions of times within the next 50 years, long after we're gone. This is the 50th anniversary of hip hop that we are experiencing right now. Do you miss out on that opportunity?
Well, I don't think that you got the opportunity in a fair way.
Questlove called him. So,
yeah, but I'm saying he didn't. His explanation was that it had already happened and he had to do it. Mm-hmm. If he sat there in that conversation and said, man, I couldn't insist because it was risky and then I might not even been able to be put on the show. Willie D understands that. He probably would have had a different opinion about it if he had said that. Scarface did not give any of that. He didn't say anything about, I was afraid that I might miss the opportunity or the opportunity was important or whatever. Because they've been starving artists before. I'm sure he understands trying to rebuild something. Absolutely. But it could have been a good look for both of y'all.
Absolutely. Let me say this. Now, here's the twist. And I want to get your thoughts on this. Willie D has classically, if you go back, Willie D has classically said, fuck the Grammys. And I don't give a damn about the Grammys. As a matter of fact, one of his famous lines is fuck a goddamn Grammy. That's one of his famous lines. So he has been against the Grammys back when the protests were taking place with Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince way back for the Hip Hop Award. He has been classically and on the record saying fuck the Grammys. I don't need no Grammy. Fuck them. And then to turn around and be a little miffed because he didn't show up at the Grammys.
This was different. This wasn't about winning a Grammy. This was about celebrating hip hop. So this was
you're making some really good points today. I'm getting whipped on your retorts today. That's fine though. I'm cool with that. Go ahead.
That's it, basically. It wasn't the same thing. This was a celebration of him that was already being done. So it wasn't like he was asking for an award. He was celebrating hip-hop. Or they were all celebrating hip-hop.
Well, now, you have taken some firm stances on, fuck this event or fuck that event. You've taken some firm stances on it. Are you saying if, or let's just say if you did? Because you're looking as if...
You mean the Grammys?
Not the Grammys per se, just anything.
Okay.
Let's say, you pull a Carrie Heffernan and you say, I don't want to go to this restaurant again because they didn't take the capers off my salad. Mm-hmm. And fuck them. And you've been present in public about saying fuck them. But one day there's a program that's taking place at this restaurant and you get invited to come.
I'd probably go. I wouldn't order anything, but I'd go.
But you go after saying fuck them.
Probably. Because it was not about that. It wasn't about them. It was about the people having the event. Just like it wasn't about the Grammys. It was about the Ghetto Boys.
Yeah. That's fair. I can see both sides of the coin for me, and it was good to watch them work it out because Willie D and Scarface and Bushwick Bill have classically been at odds with each other over the years, and Willie D and Scarface have been at each other classically over the years. It's the stuff that you go through when you have a rap partner.
Maybe he just didn't want to deal with him.
That's a possibility too. He didn't really say it, but. They've all been at odds, and both of them had issues with Bushwick Bill over the years.
Now, I can understand protecting your peace now.
And Willie D didn't go to Bushwick Bill's funeral.
Wow.
And he said that I hadn't fucked with Bill in several years. And he didn't go to Bushwick Bill's funeral. Scarface did.
I think Willie D was just asking for some real honesty. He needed to be heard. He needed him to know how he felt, but I think he wanted to hear some real honesty as to how you made this decision. And I don't think he got it, actually.
If you're not intending to get it, you're not going to get it.
I mean, he didn't say anything. He said they had already set up the rehearsals, and that's how he said.
And he did kind of poo-poo it because he was like, what you want me to say? I shouldn't have gone. All right. I shouldn't have gone. I shouldn't have took the invitation. I shouldn't have got on the plane. I shouldn't have landed. I shouldn't have did it. I shouldn't have got back on the plane. I shouldn't have came home. Like,
he poo-pooed it.
You kind of poo-pooing it a little bit. That's not, and I get it. But again, not knowing what the conversation that take place between them over the years.
Well, because of that response right there, that makes me think that he was very well aware that he was doing something wrong. And made the choice to do it anyway.
Or he knew that it was going to probably be some backlash because it's not like he doesn't know who Willie D is. Y'all been in a group together. So
it wasn't about the rehearsals.
I don't think it was. I mean, I think.
But that's what he said.
I think Questlove called him and said, hey, and I think Scarface like, yeah, I was going to do it. I don't even think he gave a second thought about it.
That's what I think.
Until he got home and Willie D called him and said that was fucked up.
I think so too. That's exactly what I think.
And that happens.
It does.
And that absolutely happens because you're not thinking. And if you and your rap partner or you and your group member are not connected in that fashion, yeah.
I don't know. Because it was a tribute to hip hop. It was very clearly defined.
You see, Andre Benjamin didn't take the time to bring his ass and show up and sent Big Boy out there alone again. Andre 3000, the worst rap partner and friend that exists on the planet. And I found a way.
But I bet you any kind of money. If it was,
they asked Dre. Yeah, it ain't no doubt.
That was my point.
It ain't no doubt they asked Dre. They asked him because everybody wants to see him. So anytime it's anything, they ask, and that man turned it down again. And you sent your rap partner out there alone on the stage.
That's not his rap partner anymore. You can stop.
It is his rap partner.
You can stop saying
you're a terrible rap partner, Andre Benjamin, and a bad friend.
You are jilted. My God.
It's terrible. I can't believe that man is doing that. I'm traumatized.
Come on back.
Traumatized by the whole thing.
You are traumatized.
Andre Benjamin.
That's a real thing.
I cannot believe what you have done and what this has come to. I'll never forgive you, Andre Benjamin. I'll never forgive you
for what you have done. You take such hard stances.
For what you have done to Antoine Patton aka Big Boy, for what you have made him endure over the years by refusing to record new Outkast music and going on tour. What you have done to him is a travesty,
to Willie D.
and it is egregious.
He just did the same thing to Willie D. He took an opportunity out of that man's mouth.
Kinda apples and oranges. Because they clearly asked for Dre. They asked for Andre 3000 to come. They didn't ask for Willie D. But
How do you know that?
But I do agree with Willie D's point, because Willie D says I am a part of one of the most influential hip hop groups of all time, and mind playing tricks on me. I wrote my verse and Bill's verse. He's like, I'm not chopped liver. He's like, if I'm not one of the pillars, I'm at least a brick in this motherfucker. And he is correct.
He is correct, and he deserved to be on that stage.
He is correct, and I'm not saying he didn't deserve.
His rap partners shouldn't have let people poo-poo there, because they actually poo-pooed the Ghetto Boys. He shouldn't have been okay with that.
You think they poo-pooed the Ghetto Boys?
Yes, by not having Willie D up there.
That's fair.
They didn't poo-poo Willie D. They poo-pooed the Ghetto Boys.
I think too that it's because people have also seen Scarface as a solo artist too as well.
Then he should have did a Scarface song, not a Ghetto Boy song.
What's your most memorable Scarface song?
I don't know.
There you go. What's your most memorable Ghetto Boy song?
The one they did.
There you go. And that's why they didn't ask him to do one of his songs.
Then they should have had Willie D on the stage.
Although I know plenty of Scarface songs. That's cool. There's not a solo DMC song that he did without Ron. So yeah, Ron was just out there. Which I found crazy, by the way, because DJ Ron has always been the one that wanted to be out front. He let DMC do the verse, and he just came out there and didn't rap.
That's true.
I thought that was odd. That has never happened, because DJ Ron
people change.
I guess they do.
They are not the same that they were when they came out during this time. People change. People change. People change. People change. Chris Brown changed.
Oh, we back to that.
I'm just saying, people change.
They do. Andre, could you
give
please,
them grace?
Could you please rap with Big Boy? Could you please?
Just one last time. Just one time.
Please just do one song with the man. Go on one tour. Do one show. That's it. That's all that we're asking. Just do it for closure and say, hey, this is going to be officially my last time. Don't just leave like you have left.
I appreciate that, Andre man 3000. Saying y'all are not going to make me do anything. I'm going to live my life. I appreciate that.
That's balderdash. It's selfish, and it's egregious for him to do that to us. It's terrible.
He ain't responsible for y'all. He's responsible
for hip hop.
What?
He's responsible for hip hop, and he's responsible for Outkast being the greatest group of all time. That's all I have to say about that.
It's not true, people.
It is true.
It's not.
It's absolutely true.
He's responsible for himself, and he's doing what he needs to do for himself.
Do better, Andre. That's all that we're asking you to do.
Do you, Andre?
Do better.
Do you?
Do better. That's
do
fine.
Do you?
All right. And on that note, we're going to wrap today's episode. There's a lot of stuff that's been going on. So, of course, these are conversations that happen between a husband and wife in the privacy of our own home that we bring to you guys, for you to sometimes laugh, for you to sometimes maybe shed a tear and be introspective. But, we feel like these conversations are interesting enough for you guys to join in on. Please make sure that you leave some comments or some questions under the YouTube videos. Or, of course, you can hit us up in the email, or you can follow us on social media. You can follow us on Facebook, according to Kaz and Queen. We are on Instagram as Kaz and Queen, and Twitter, Kaz and Queen, all the way. All right, across the board. If you're looking for Kaz and Queen, that's where we are. Hit us up if you've got some topics that you'd like to get our views on. Please do that as well, and make sure that you download the Black with No Chaser app and check us out. And make sure you share this video, and make sure you continue to listen to us on all the streaming services as well. And we're going to keep doing what we do. We're going to keep trying to entertain you guys and bring you some very thought-provoking and interesting conversations. All right. So, as always, I'm Kaz. And this is According to Kaz and Queen. We'll see you guys next time. All right. Peace.